Başlayalım, söyleyeyim.
Evet, başlayalım.
Yes, the third session of the MESMAP Symposium will start now. And Professor Yavaret Çiftkut from Thailand and Professor Nazlı Arda from Turkey are the session chairs of this session. And we are continuing with the presentation with invited speakers. Yes, professors, the microphone is yours.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. For the afternoon session, we will start from the Professor Dr. Raman Deng. He is the principal and the professor in KLE College of Pharmacy, Bengaluru, Karnataka, India. And his research title is Immunomodulator Effects of Medicinal Plant and Natural Phytochemicals in Combating COVID-19. Professor Raman Deng, please.
Raman, Professor Raman, are you in India? Are you in Turkey? Raman.
Professor.
Hemen ikinciye geçelim mi? Mutlu hocam gelmiş mi? Bir dakika, Raman'ı arıyorum. Telefonu meşgul. I think he is calling. Mutlu Hoca burada mı? Başka kim var hazırda?
Yes, I think he is in the Zoom meeting.
Kim var?
Yes, he's trying to connect.
I think we can wait a few minutes.
Yes.
Şimdi bir dakika Raman.
Çimen Karasu var sonra.
Çimen Karasu'nun yerine Mutlu Hocam. Mutlu Aytemir.
Aynı yerden mi? Aynı başlık mı?
Mutlu Hocam'ı değiştirdik ya sabahleyin.
Onu ben kaçırdım galiba. Yani sıra mı değişti?
Evet.
Ay bulamıyorum.
Şimdi ekranda görebilirsiniz Nazlı Hocam. Ekrana yansı yaptım.
Mutlu Hocam da telefonla görüşüyor.
Mutlu Aytemir.
Ee,
Ama bu bende yok bu şey. Son versiyon.
Sabah değişiklik yaptık hocam.
Hocam ekranda şu anda.
Tamam. O zaman sunarken de yine ekrana verirsiniz değil mi?
Tamam hocam.
Tamam.
Hocam şöyle konkavan şeylerin. Konkavan. Profesör Konkavan, Thailand.
Professor Kanokwan, maybe.
Konakwan.
Are you in Thailand?
Okay, I can talk. You ready to present?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you can please start after your introduction.
Okay, can you speak first in the afternoon session, Professor Kanokwan? Okay. Now? Yes.
Moment please.
Okay.
ตอนนี้คนอื่นเขาเข้าไม่ได้
ใช่ค่ะ because Professor Raman he cannot access maybe the Zoom meeting.
Okay. Moment please. How to share. can I share my PowerPoint?
Did you open on your computer?
Yes, I already opened on my computer.
Yeah, Professor, could you please try again to share your screen?
Okay, it's okay already now. It's okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Okay. So sorry for this inconvenient. Okay. For the afternoon session, let we start from Professor Kanokwan Charukamchon. She is the invited speaker from the Department of Pharmaceutical Biotechnology, University of Khon
There's just one agenda that we need an approval for, and that is to consider categorizing the syllabi for the pre-clinical medical students, for dental students into must to know, desirable to know, and nice to know categories. The need for this is that the members representing the medical pre-clinical subjects for the dental students express during the pre-clinical course.
ಸುಮ್ಮ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ನಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಬಟ್
Okay. Okay. Okay. For the afternoon session, let me start from Professor Kanokwan Charukamchon. She is the professor in the Department of Pharmaceutical Biotechnology, Khon Kaen University, Khon Kaen, Thailand. She worked a lot in the research about the cytochrome P450, and her research title is expression of murine CYP1A1 by endocapsuline and active constituent in Endographis paniculata. Professor Kanokwan, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon, Turkish time for all participants. Okay, my slide is okay and my voice is good.
Please share the slide again.
The slide is not.
Because the screen show your face now.
Okay. Why I cannot? Is that okay now?
Okay, if everyone can see. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you again for Mr. Chairman. Is that now okay for my slide and my voice? Okay. I sincerely thank first for Professor Nazim and Professor Anek to invite me for MESMAP-6, even if we cannot meet in Izmir. Hope we can meet later in the near future. So today, I would like to give a talk on regulatory expression of murine cytochrome P451A1 by endocapsuline and active constituent in Endographis paniculata. At present, the world herb market has a total value of approximately $92 billion. The growth rate of herbal product consumption in each category is 3 to 12%. And among the most potential candidates in the herb market include nutritional supplement and Thai cosmeceutical products, which are ranked as the 8th largest country in the world for herbal consumption growth. And since 2017, black kashai or Campholia parviflora, turmeric or curcuma longa, Indian pennywort or Centella asiatica, and Ply Singiber casuna were chosen as economic herbs, which have been produced in many formulations, such as cosmeceuticals, food supplements, and beverages, and causing the herbal market of Thailand, growing up to over 30% from exporting herbs and extract, with a good economic prospect. Nowadays, adding value for herbal exports is limited. In terms of quality control is required, data supporting pharmacological evidence, and study on toxicity of herbal products are very limited. Drug interaction is one aspect of pharmacological and toxicological studies, which has definition of the reaction between two or more drugs, or between a drug and herb, beverage, or supplement. So drug interactions can occur in all steps of pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. And metabolism is one process in pharmacokinetics. A drug may metabolize via phase 1 and or phase 2 metabolism. Due to phase 1 metabolism, cytochrome P450 is a major drug metabolizing enzyme, which is abundant in the liver. Cytochrome P450 is a superfamily of heme thiolate monooxygenase enzymes. In humans, cytochrome P450 consists of 12 families, in which family 1, 2, and 3, such as CYP3A45, CYP2D6, CYP2C89, CYP1A12, CYP2C19, CYP2E1, CYP2B6, and CYP2A6 are important for metabolism or biotransformation of synobiotics, including drug, herb, and food. Cytochrome P451 family consists of 3 isoforms, CYP1A1, CYP1A2, and CYP1B1. CYP1A1 and CYP1A2 are abundant in the liver. In my screen, okay. In which CYP1A1 is an inducible and CYP1A2 is a constitutive isoform, and besides CYP1A, CYP1B1 is an extrahepatic isoform. Among all 3 isoforms, CYP1A is the most active isoform among cytochrome P450 in metabolizing procarcinogen, which majorly participate in metabolic activation of chemical procarcinogens, such as aromatic amines, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons from daily exposure, for example, tobacco smoke, grill food, and automobile exhaust, to become active carcinogens and resulting in a list of carcinogenesis. Endogaphis paniculata is an annual herbaceous plant in the family Acanthaceae, with endogaphyli as its major and active constituent. The content of endogaphyli in Endogaphis paniculata is generally 2 to 6% dry weight. This plant is traditionally used for cold, diabetes, malaria, snakebite, stomachic, anti-helminth, and hepatoprotection. This herb is in the market in several formulations, including dry leaves, powders, teas, tablets, and capsules. Impact of Endogaphis paniculata extract on mouse hepatic cytochrome P450 enzymes was performed via representative enzymatic reaction. Ethoxylase solofin O dealkylase stands for CYP1A1 activity. Methoxylase solofin O dealkylase, or MROD, stands for CYP1A2. And pentoxylase solofin O dealkylase, or PROD, stands for CYP2B activity. By administration of the aqueous or alcoholic extract of Endogaphis paniculata to male ICR mice to represent traditionally used, in which some boil it with water and drink as tea, or some percolate it in drinking alcohol. The results show that total hepatic P450 content was not significantly modified by both extract, but EROD and both extracts significantly increased EROD and PROD activity, whereas MROD was not elevated. These findings suggested that Endogaphis paniculata extract might effectuate hepatic cytochrome P450 enzymes, by which CYP1A1 and CYP2B was the responsive cytochrome P450 isoforms. And then we further study effect of endogafuli on cytochrome P451A1 expression in comparison with typical CYP1A inducer in primary mouse hepatocyte. We found that endogafuli significantly induced the expression of CYP1A1 mRNA in a concentration-dependent manner, as same as typical CYP1 inducers, beta-naptofarvone, TCDD, and benz-A-anthracene. And interestingly, endogafuli plus typical CYP1A inducers synergistically induce CYP1A1 expression. And also, we also found that the synergism was blocked by resveratrol, which is an AHR antagonist. Therefore, it should be aware to use Endogaphis paniculata, particularly for long term, because we cannot prevent ourselves from CYP1A inducer daily exposure, such as cigarette smoke, grilled food, and engine smoke. Now, we can conclude that Endogaphis paniculata induce CYP1A1 activity, endogafuli induce CYP1A1 mRNA expression, and co-administration of endogafuli and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon synergistically induce CYP1A1 mRNA via aryl hydrocarbon receptor, or AHR. So, we further study the effects of endogafuli with a typical CYP1A1 inducer, beta-naptofarvone, on expression of metabolic gene in primary mouse hepatocytes using microarray technique. Primary mouse hepatocytes were treated with endogafuli and or beta-naptofarvone for 24 hours. Then total RNA was extracted and repurified using a fast pRNA kit before submit to Biometric Research Incorporated for analysis using a gene-chipped mouse exon 1.0 ST array. And the microarray data was analyzed using GenSpring GX10 software. And on the other hand, the expression of cytochrome P450 mRNA was quantified by RT-PCR. Using a specific TAGMAN gene expression assay and specific TAGMAN MGB or TAMRA gene expression detection kit, microarrays show that endogafuli upregulated 18 genes of metabolism, oxidation, and reduction, including endogafuli by itself induce CYP1A1, CYP2A4, CYP2B9, and CYP2B10 expression. And a combination of beta-naptofarvone and endogafuli modify the expression up to 45 genes, namely 27 upregulated and 18 downregulated. And also, the increased cytochrome P450 expression were also confirmed by real-time RT-PCR. And from our previous observation, we propose that the induction of cytochrome P451A1 mRNA by combination of endocardin and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon might occur via AHR. Therefore, we designed the experiment to assure the hypothesis in an in vivo model employing 2 strains of mice consists of C57BL/6 mice, which is a PAH responsive strain, and DBA/2 mice, which is a PAH non-responsive strain. And we found that endocardin modified CYP1 family in B6 mice, but not D2. So, we further examine whether the induction is sex-dependent or not. We treat both sex of B6 with typical CYP1A inducer, 3-methylcholanthrin, endocardin, and both of them. The result indicated that the synergistic induction is sex-dependent, in which male is responsive sex. And to assure this conclusion, the male B6 mice were castrated and treated with the same protocol. The result confirmed that the synergistic induction is male-dependent because in the castrated mice, the synergism was disappeared. Therefore, testosterone might be a sex hormone associated in this metabolizing pathway. And to confirm whether testosterone is a key sex hormone or not, in the synergism of CYP1A1 induction by endocardin plus CYP1 inducer, the male B6 were orchiectomized and the female B6 were ovarectomized, and without sex organs, the induction was not found in both sexes. But when they were supplemented with testosterone, the synergism was recovered. Therefore, testosterone plays an important role in regulatory mechanism of CYP1A1 expression by endocardin plus typical CYP1A1 inducer in mice. Since Endocarpis paniculata contains not only endocardin, therefore, we further study the effects of endocardin and other diterpenoids in Endocarpis paniculata, including deoxydihydroendocardin or DHA, neoendocardin or NEO, and endocardin or AS on expression of SYM1A1 in primary mouse hepatocytes compared with molecular docking assay. From this slide, mouse AHR ligand binding domain model was docked with beta-naptropharone, endocardin, deoxydihydroendocardin, endocardin, and neoendocardin using ARGAS-Lab 4.0.1 program. The lower binding energies mean the better binding affinity. From high to low binding affinity, the ordering is from beta-naptropharone, higher than endocardin, higher than deoxydihydroendocardin, higher than endocardin and neoendocardin respectively. These results from molecular docking assays of beta-naptropharone and 4 diterpenoids on ligand binding domain of AHR, we found it's consistent with the level of CYP1A1 mRNA expression. And furthermore, different binding sites of beta-naptropharone in the presence of diterpenoids might affect the synergism of CYP1A1 expression. Altogether, we suggested that the ERB-drug interaction with use of endocardin or Endographis paniculata containing health supplement products should be concerned, especially risk of carcinogenesis from synergism of cytochrome P451A1 activation, and the finding revealed that a sex hormone testosterone play an important role in regulatory mechanism of CYP1A1 expression by endographite plus typical CYP1A inducer, at least in part. Finally, we all should be concerned that herbal plants and their constituents can induce or suppress cytochrome P450. And modulation on each cytochrome P450 isoform leads to both of risk and benefit. An understanding of each cytochrome P450 isoform responsibility is a key for metabolism and drug interaction. Therefore, it is necessary to study in vitro, in vivo, and clinical study to gain sufficient and valid information for evaluation on the safety and precaution of herbal plants. And lastly, I would convey the important message that herb-drug interaction via cytochrome P450 metabolism is one crucial jigsaw to add the value and to guarantee the use and promotion of herbal medicine. To complete quality control, pharmacological evidence, and toxicity effect of the herbal medicine. And at the end, I sincerely thank all of my colleagues and members in research group for pharmaceutical activities of natural products using pharmaceutical biotechnology for valuable effort, friendships, and loves. Thank you very much for your attention. Questions and suggestions are welcome, and collaboration are welcome to my email. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Kanokwan Charukamchon, for your excellent research that shared to us. Now, the question session are open. For the participant, do you have any questions for Professor Kanokwan? Okay. I have one question, Professor Kanokwan.
Okay.
You work a lot in herb interaction, like endogafoli. Now in Thailand, they suggest like Endographis paniculata have the effects on antiviral like a COVID. Do you have any suggestion for the consumer how to use the paniculata with the precaution about the drug interaction that you concerned from your research work?
Okay. According to, we found the synergism between endogafoli and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon that in daily life we could not escape from this. So I suggest if it's actually have antiviral effect for such a COVID-19, we should use it only in the short term, as recommended in the Thai pharmacopoeia or in the traditionally used, not more than 7 days. It should be better and more safe.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions? Okay. If no, thank you very much for your nice presentation, Professor Kanokwan.
Okay, thank you very much. See you.
Now, the second speaker of this session is Mutlu Aytemir. Please share the program, Sevgi. that I couldn't see the program and the details. Thank you. Professor Aytemir is coming from Faculty of Pharmacy, Department of Pharmaceutics, University of İzmir Kağıt Çelebi in Turkey. She will present us her studies entitled Biologically Important Compounds Derived from the Nature Fungal Metabolite, kojic acid. Please welcome, Ms. Aytemir.
Welcome. I am trying to opening my presentation.
Hocam açık tam ekran yapın sadece.
Tam ekran yapalım. Tamam hocam. Net gözüküyor mu hocam?
Evet.
Okay. Thank you very much, kind introduction, and also I would like to thank the organizing committee, especially Nazım Şekeroğlu, for giving to me this opportunity to present our work. My speech title is Biologically Important Compounds Derived from the Natural Fungal Metabolite Kojic Acid. Maybe. Okay. Kojic acid was discovered in Japan by isolating Aspergillus oryzae fungus grown on the steamed rice. It's also Acetobacter and Penicillium species during the aerobic fermentation. It was first reported during the researcher on the fermentation on steamed rice named as koji, where it name derived. It's a good chelator of translation metal ion and a good scavenger of the free radicals. It forms the bidentate complexes with metal via hydroxyl and ketone group. Tyrosinase, which is a key enzyme pigment, biosynthesis contain the copper in the active site. Kojic acid is a good chelator agent, is captured ion in the active site of the enzyme and inhibits the melanin synthesis both in the hydroxylation and oxidation stage of the DOPA. Kojic acid inhibits the tyrosinase of various of the species as seen from the figure. Kojic acid makes hydrogen bind p-alkyl interaction with tyrosinase enzyme of the several organisms. Abnormal production of the melanin causes many problems, especially malignant melanoma, hyperpigmentation, post-inflammatory pigmentation, melasma, skin aging. Thus, it's seen that targeting tyrosinase activity is important at the treatment of disease disorder. Malignant melanoma is characterized by the aggressive nature metastasis. Although malignant melanoma accounts for about 2% of all skin cancer, it is the primary cause of the death due to skin cancer with high mortality rates in the world. In 1974, dacarbazine is the first approved drug in the treatment in malignant melanoma. Then several drugs such as interferon alpha-2b and interleukin-2, vemurafenib, has been discovered in the timeline until today. Novolumab, as the adjuvant, is the last drug approved by FDA. The hydroxypyrone scaffold of kojic acid has an excellent structure, which has been used as a powerful tool in drug discovery. Many kojic acid derivatives have been discovered until today, have a various application in medicine, cosmetic, agriculture, food and chemical industry. Many species of kojic acid derivatives have been studied for over 30 years in my laboratory. We synthesized more than 200 many species derivatives by using kojic acid, chlorokojic acid, and allomaltol, which were starting materials with the different substituted piperidine or piperazine derivatives. Also, the chlorine atom in the 6th position of the pyranone ring was changed with cyclic morpholine, piperidine, and piperolidine cyclic amines. Their various biological activities, including anticonvulsant, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, antimicrobacterial, anti-aging, antioxidant, anti-tyrosinase, were evaluated. Lastly, we have tested their anti-cancer activities in our ongoing project. Anti-tyrosinase activity in the managed bases were evaluated by using the modified dapacron method. Kojic acid has an inhibitory activity on tyrosinase. However, the activity has increased with introduction of 3,4-dichlorobenzyl, 4-chloro, 3-chloro, 4-fluorobenzyl piperazine derivatives to the structure Koji MG84 carrying the, you can see, 3,4-dichlorobenzyl was the most active compound in this managed series. Docking studies of the Koji MG84 revealed that the compound forms hydrogen bond, pi-p-stacked interaction, van der Waals contacts, pi-sigma contacts, and pi-alkyl contacts with the histidine, alanine, serine, and valine amino acid. Also, hydroxymethyl moiety at the 6th position of the pyrrole ring is essential for the binding of one of the copper ions. Also, you can see the importance of the chlorine substitution at the 3rd position of the phenyl ring. It has some interaction with the 3-amino acid. The cytotoxicity of kojic acid and several managed based on malignant human melanoma, human gingival fibroblast, human lung fibroblast was investigated by sulforadamine B assay. Also, commercial drugs vemurafenib, dacarbazine, tomozolamide, lenalidomide were used as control drugs. Some managed bases were found to be more potent than the FDA-approved drug except vemurafenib against melanoma cell line. As you can see, microscopic image of cytotoxic effect of kojic acid on the melanoma cell. Compound 4, to bearing 3,4-chlorobenzyl, and also same moiety compound Koji MG84, only just differences at the 6th position. There is the hydroxy group here, there is the chloro atom. And so we can look at this microscopic images of cytotoxic effect of these managed bases melanoma cells. Compound 4, the most active compound with IC50 values of 11.3 against melanoma compared to these control groups. More importantly, these compounds had no harmful effect. HGF cell line, we have applied Turkish patent and international patent, and we are very excited about their feedback. In our recent study, anti-cancer activity was tested on hepatocellular carcinoma cell line, compound 6, bearing the 2-fluoro, 4-bromobenzyl, piperazine, and 2nd position, at the 6th position, methylpiperidine. So this compound offers a promising approach against hepatocellular carcinoma. The cell mechanism underlying the cytotoxic effect compound 6 on carcinoma was apoptosis. It's triggered, you can see apoptosis here. It's triggered intrinsic P53 apoptotic pathway by increasing the intracellular reactive oxygen species concentrations. As the results of our studies, some of the mannish-based derivatives have been found more cytotoxic on human malignant melanoma cells than kojic acid. Most of the compounds hindered the proliferation of the cancer cells while giving no harm to healthy cells. Also, mannish-based were able to decrease the melanogenic behavior of the A375 cells carrying the V600F mutation compared to the control group. KOJ-MG84 was found to approximately effective as vemurafenib on melanogenesis. In our anti-cancer activity studies, we tested our allomaltol derivative on the different type of the breast cancer cell lines. The lead compound hasn't led to the drug resistance in MCF7 cells, and the results are very promising against breast cancer over the toxic chemotherapies. Also, in vivo cancerogenesis studies were conducted to evaluate the protective effect UV-induced melanoma. According to results, tumor incidence was decreasing you can see that, especially with compound 4
All right.
yeah. As a result of our project, KOJ-MG84 registered by Turkish and US and European patent. You can see here KOJ-MG84 is purine 3,4-chloro moiety, and trade name is KOJ-MG84. Was designed, ink name is kojimetidichlorobenzopiperazine. After complying the requirement, koji whitening cream, you can see, I can show you, involving the KOJ-MG84 has been on market in the last year as a national dermocosmetic product with a function of the whitening. In the light of our finding, I would like to mention about our future studies. In addition to anti-cancer activities, we are testing in the anti-pancreasone of kojic acid derivatives. Also, we are planning to define the mechanism of action to get a better activity. We are still studying on design and synthesis novel compound with improved activity and safer profiles. We are awarded by different associations for several times, and these are motivated and encourage us and more work. I can mention some of them. At the second Istanbul International Invention Fair is 17, kojic acid derivatives mannish-based with biologic effect named patent. We received the silver medal with US patent. Next year, at the same organization, we awarded the best academic invention medal by International Federation of Invention Association, IFIA. Lastly, and we get to receive the silver medal again, our second patent. And also I would like to introduce you my team, Professor Orhan, Professor Özçelik, Associate Professor Şenol, Assistant Professor Karakaya, and another team, biologic. We tested our all biologic compound, and Professor Ercan, Associated Professor Ercan, and Dr. Biologist Öncül. Thank you very much. This is my end of the talk.
Thank you.
You any question?
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to hearing that you earned several medals and you are supported by different important institutions. So I'm happy to be here that really. I have a question actually. You showed us a cream, right? A skin cream
Yes.
for. Could you please turn back to this slide?
I can show you here.
To remind the
Slide I
participants.
can return the slide also. Yes.
Yes, this one. This one. So, could you find any financial support for the production of this kind of product?
Of course, I
from
can.
cosmetic industry, or all are for your own efforts?
Thank you very much for this question, because it's very long way and very difficult and very expensive. Also we would like to do some drugs, but especially I am working on the skin cancer. But it's not easy to get the drug in this situation. And though we thought maybe we can get easy dermocosmetic products to get the market, so I get the supporting from Tubitak. TAIDA project, and after the TAIDA project I supported myself because I couldn't get another project, but now it's in the market and getting the financial supporting to me. And
yeah,
so,
good.
At this moment I haven't any supporting, but later I need to some support the cosmetic industry, and so I am applying to some another award at the moment in the cosmetic industry, because it's very different to in university. Another we are in the university only just interest in education and researcher, but another partners is think of a lot of money. You know, this is only just trade. If you get the good position in the market, you have to get power. So they are not interested in many research, you know, only just industry, especially cosmetic industry, thinking of how many get the more money from this.
I agree.
My compound, my only just thinking, this is my research and some innovation. And this is the, I think my students follow me, and I get a good mentor to him, you know, supporting them.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe from my heart, Professor. Okay, is there any other question?
Yeah, I'm Rob Mentedi. I'm calling from Huntsville, Alabama. Very interesting presentation. Did you go beyond my studies to clinical trials, you know, and what kind of population sample did you have in your clinical studies?
I don't understand. Which clinical? Which kind of clinical?
Generally, if we are going to develop a product for human use, like you have developed this one is based on
in future expectation, we are working on Parkinson's disease, because this compound is small compound and more lipophilic than kojic acid. Kojic acid has very difficulty to get the to getting the brain barrier.
Yeah.
Therefore we at some tested, and our molecule is very successful. Therefore, and we got some 2D and 3D Parkinson model, and it's got very highly good results. Now we have got another project now in government. Maybe we will start in 2 months later. I am not sure, but it's not at the sign. We are now at the sign.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else to contribute or to ask some questions? I guess no. Thank you very much again, Professor Aytemir.
Thank you very much. Everybody else.
I pass the word to my colleague.
Okay. For the next invited speaker, I would like to introduce Professor Dr. Ramandang. Okay, are you here? Professor Ramandang. Okay, he is the principal and professor from the KLE College of Pharmacy, Bengaluru, Karnataka, from India. His research title is the immunomodulator effects of medicinal plant and natural phytochemicals in combating with COVID-19. Professor Dr. Ramandang, please.
Raman.
Yes, brother. Good evening.
Okay.
Nazim, my brother. Okay, it was a pleasant surprise to be on this forum because every year we come to Turkey to attend and to participate in this lovely conference. I thank my friend Dr. Nazim, Dr. Sevagi to invite me to be part of your conversation and discussion. Here I'll be presenting a live presentation without any slides, specifying the antivirals that can be very helpful for COVID-19. So of late, we have seen everybody is running after a vaccine, whereas we are focusing on immune boosters. Yes, if you develop your immune system, we are seeing of late, these people are least affected. So it is very important for us to develop our immune system. In India, there are so many herbs. In Turkey also, there is a spice market. There are so many herbs that can be used for this kind of combating of virus, which has become a pandemic. So COVID-19 coronavirus, which has spread, and we can say some of them like oregano. World over we are using oregano. It's a popular herb in the mint family that's known for its impressive medicinal qualities because of carvacrol. So these active constituents have the direct effect on the virus. They have proven effect on SARS virus, other viruses that have troubled us, and now since we are experimenting, even the vaccine that is being developed, we are trying also with the existing TB vaccine against COVID-19. Similarly, herbs which have antiviral property can be used effectively to boost our immune system. I'm definitely not talking of any plant vaccine. I'm talking about the existing herbs that can be very, very helpful. So my friends who are affected by this, getting into a depressive mode, please take oregano. It is a popular herb having carvacrol, which is a very, very important ingredient to fight the virus. Sage, another important herb. It is a member of the mint family again. This aromatic herb that has long been used for traditional medicine against viral infections. So yes, please try to understand that saphinoside, the active principles, have a direct action. In herbs, we see if you are using the direct active principle, it does not directly have much that of an effect, unlike other medicinal products. So you need to have an extract, you need to have a decoction, you need to have a form of medication that really affects at an immunobooster. Basil, in India, we pray to this basil, which is known as tulsi. It is fighting the virus like anything. Children who go for examination, mothers give basil so that their brain functions fast. The virus is inside, the bacteria inside is taken care. We take it in the form of tea, like you take Turkish tea. There are so many active ingredients. I like to apprise my friend Nazim, Sebagi, and others that many of the teas from China, many of the teas from Turkey and India have been analyzed here for their tannin content, their caffeine content, and believe me, many of them have a very powerful antiviral effect. So we need to test those. It is high time the tradition is checked with the science, then only there will be some outcome. Running after some kind of vaccines alone, which is going to take very long, is not going to be very fruitful. Fennel is another thing, which is a flavored form, which contains very powerful antiviral substances. Your olive is another anti-powerful, especially the leaf of olive is very powerful antiviral. So if all these virals we were studying, we were carrying out a pilot study here, are clubbed together, which are available in nature, because many of the herbals available in nature, whether the formulations or extracts, have multiple ingredients. Can they have an effect? Is this dreadful virus, COVID-19? Another common herb we use in India is garlic. We all know it's powerful antihypertensive. It has antiviral effects. The constituent presents are very, very useful to fight this kind of virus. So my friends, why I have choosing this topic and telling you is because at home, the remedies are available with us. It is not only exercise, it is not only yoga, it is not only practicing any kind of exercise that will help us. These herbs, which we commonly use even on our pizzas, even our pasta, even baklava, or any of the herbs or any of the dishes that you take, which are popular in your country, they will have a very, very good effect. So please make it a regular part of your diet, so you will definitely will be benefited. Lemon balm, another important. This also is used as a seasoning worldwide. So if you are going to use lemon balm in your eating habits, definitely your immune system will be potentiated. Peppermint. Peppermint, we all know. We all consume peppermint tea, peppermint this, peppermint that, peppermint ice cream, but that has a powerful effect. So friends, if I am able to relate to you, if I am able to specify that tradition that is occurring since ages, if I was referring an Ayurvedic treatise in India, it shows the same symptoms that is caused by this virus. So the symptoms may be occurring, there may be the herbs available, but there may not be the specific name. HIV. HIV had so many different names, but here in Ayurveda, it is having the combating virus effects. So we should see not only the name of the herbs existing, but also the symptoms of the disease. Rosemary, another beautiful, my favorite, frequently used in cooking, likewise has therapeutic application, numerous plant compounds, oligonic acids, and they are very powerful. Echinacea, another herb. This is one of the most popular used herb worldwide, and it is very impressive because of its root has the antiviral components. So when we are researching, we are not going to research only on the entire herb or on the particular plant. We are going to see that these herbs are periodically checked. Over a period, if you see neem, neem is being checked for its leaves. The branches have effect, the roots have effect. In a year, I was analyzed, Rolfia plant has nearly 1,000 papers, but still there is so much of work to be done. In India, country like India, you will not believe there is effect shown even in the cow dung, even in the urine of the cow, even in the ghee, even in the oils. So all that effects are there. That is why they are being traditionally used. It is high time you researchers sitting there, I have watched all the beautiful presentations, are going to connect it to the science. What is their chemical structure? What is the SAR? How are we going to modify it? Which functional group should come where? It is not only having the potentiating effect, but we are going to reduce. Yes, we are going to reduce the toxicity. Long-term effect of many of the herbs, my dear friends, you'll be surprised, has shown to be toxic effect on the kidneys, on the heart. That has to be regulated. There are many heavy metals that are present in the plants. So we need to check the heavy metals. So all this is done. We have the answer in the nature itself. Then obviously we are going to boost our immune system. Why virus? Why any pandemic? In future also, there should be a challenge taken by us that yes, these traditions which are existing worldwide are going to be used as medicine now, not as food anymore. Food, they have been used. They have to be consumed in a proper form, in a proper structure. And if required for economy, we can semi-synthesize also. We can have their synthetic derivatives also. Licorice, again, traditionally used by our friends in China, by the world over. It has licorice active. They have glabridines. They have various other genins. They have glycyrrhizine, which is useful anti-calorie substitute also. So it has a very powerful antiviral effect. So are we concentrating on multiple activities? Yes, it is the high time the world unite together, whether it is by tissue culture, whether it is by combining the herbs, whether it is by analyzing the disease components, the systems that works on that, and then connecting science and seeing that the virus is defeated. Astragalus, another important tradition herb in China, used in many of their dishes. Ginger, popularly ginger tea, ginger lozenges, it is abundant in the nature. In India, we lots use it in the tea. It is used for throat infections. It carries an effect on the powerful respiratory system. It has even treated on, there are papers also that it is active powerful against cancer. Ginseng, who doesn't know ginseng? It has a steroid moiety, but has a powerful effect against fighting the virus. Dandelion, again, it is a powerful herb that needs to be scientifically channelized. Another one which we used in India and worldwide is turmeric. Turmeric is used as a cosmetic. Turmeric is having anti-cancer effect. Turmeric is having anti-inflammation effect. But turmeric has certain curcuminoids that are having antiviral effect. If you make a decoction, if you take turmeric daily, I assure you that you are not going to be affected by any virus. It is killing the viruses. I can prove that. We are working in our labs at various levels. It is not allowing it to touch the lungs, any respiratory organs, any of the organs that can be affected. So when you have a simple remedy, why, like we have Turkish tea, why can't we have a simple decoction of turmeric every day? So my friends, the bottom line here is herbs are used as natural remedies since ancient times. So these common herbs such as basil, sage, oregano, turmeric, ginger, as well as the lesser known astragalus and many powerful antivirals effects, then various systems in our body, even the animal checks have been done. I don't want to reveal much study that has been carried out. We have even in the formulation stage. It may surprise that these herbs, the person who is working on it may get a Nobel Prize also. Because what is near us, we don't try to explore. What is far away, we try to get into that. Many of the drugs are available in the marine also. You know, 2/3 of the world is covered with water. Don't you think it's high time we get into the algae? Whether tide 1, tide 2, tide 3, different kind of algae have different effect. Many of the viruses have been combated by these kind of algae. So friends, all around us, whether it is in the home, whether it is in the nature, whether it's a marine, we have antivirals existing. Various vaccines which are already present, they also show that they diminish the effect after a certain year. BCG vaccine or other vaccine. So it is not a lifelong effect. But if our immune system is strong, we can combat any virus and we can come out with various effects for the world to benefit. So please connect with me for any kind of questions you have so that we can take it to the next level of science. In India, instead of doctors, we call them Vaidyas, which have practicing knowledge since ages, theoretical knowledge in the labs or in any of the research concerns will not give that benefit when you are able to treat it through practice. So those Vaidyas we have to contact, which herbs we are using, they are either for asthma or whether it is for treating TB or now for COVID-19. Already one Vaidya in India, one yogic, Shri Ramdev ji, has claimed that he has a cure for COVID-19. But since there was no clinical studies, the government abolished the claim. Russia also claimed that COVID-19 cure is there with them. No clinical data, no. Everybody is in a hurry. We are not in a hurry. We are in a hurry to develop a formula that stays long time for a longer duration, which is very near to you, very near to the heart. So spread out the tradition. Touch the herbs in your kitchen. Touch the herbs in your medicinal garden. Go all out. Nazim takes us all out to the traditional tools of medicine plants available in Turkey. Let's take it a challenge. Let's collaborate now. The world needs to unite this tiny virus to be eradicated. Thank you, friends, for giving me this opportunity. Sorry I didn't have any fancy slides, but I was very eager and happy to connect to you through this verbal conversation. Any questions? Most welcome.
Thank you. You are great, Michael.
Thank you very much, Professor Ramandang. Are there any questions from the floor? Okay, Professor.
Thank you, dear Ziara, and my brother Raman. And
Thank you, brother.
Raman mentioned, I believe that the traditional knowledge is important than vaccine. So maybe people will develop vaccine, but only for COVID. but other viruses, they will come. So I believe that we should fly, we should eat biryani in India, sticky rice in Thailand, and baklava in Turkey, and our immune system will improve itself. Really, my favorite 4 plants for COVID. One is glycyrrhiza, licorice. Licorice is very important. I know that in Chinese medicine, traditional medicine, 2,500 traditional Chinese medicine contain licorice. The second one is olive leaf. Olive leaf contain oleuropein. Oleuropein has been under patent in America in 2000. And another Cistus credicus, Turkish cistus, we say. And there is some pills and some natural products. And it's mechanically protect your throat from the viruses. It's very important. Another thing is oregano, and with carvacrol and thymol. My favorite mixture is for this plant, and I prepare new product for anti-COVID tea in Turkey at my company with 4 different herbs. Thank you, bro.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Nasim, for your sharing about the information of the medicinal plant in combating with the COVID-19. Okay, if we have the opportunity to go to Turkey, let me try your product. Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Ramandang, for your nice sharing with us. Okay.
Can I ask a question to the professor? I'm wondering his opinion, and of all others' opinions, actually. Much of the journals, request active principles, although some of them change their scopes nowadays. But for academicians, active principles are very hard to reach, for some of them, of course. So what is your opinion? I think, and I agree, that mixture extracts are more effective because of the synergistic effect of several metabolites. We know that these products, herbal products, have some problems with their standardized formulas. But what about your academic point of view?
Now, here is a challenge for us, because what happens is the constituents are present in very minute quantity. If you take, say, for Taxol, for that example, from Texas Pecata, if you take 100 kgs, you are just able to get 10 grams or even lesser. Then purity is a challenge. It is high time we need to develop the reference standards. We need to increase the constituent level in the plants. Synergistic effect, you told, yes, that is a presumption, but we need to scientifically ascertain that. Yes, there is a synergistic effect. There can be antagonistic effect also. Sometimes herbs in the proportion it should be present are not so. Then how do you affect happen to the effect to come out? So I see there are certain of the preparation where it says the minimum concentration responsible for effect is, says 0.6 milligram, but they are present only in 0.3 milligram. So we are exploiting the herbs, the tradition, just by their claims. So science has to step in, active principles have to be potentiated. If required, we have to develop semi-synthetic derivatives. As an academic interest, it is very important to potentiate all sources, whether it is tissue culture, synthesis, so that the active constituents are increased, because they are responsible for the action. So we have to work on it, whether in the pure state or whether in the extract form, we need to standardize. So standardize is the key challenge for the academicians. Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you. As you said, a lot of things to do. We have a lot of things.
Yes.
Yes. Right. Okay. Thank you, Professor Ramandang, for your nice presentation, your nice information that sharing to our participant. Okay, next we will pass, I will give the chance to introduce the next invited speaker to Professor Nasli, please.
Ali Bilgili'yi alıyoruz. Nazlı meşgul herhalde. Ali Bilgili'yi alacak hocam. Anne.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, next speaker is Ali Bilgili. Professor Ali Bilgili is coming from Department of Pharmacology and Toxicology, Faculty of Veterinary, Ankara University. And his title is Poisonous Plants for Cats and Dogs, Kept in House. Dickenbachia species, Melia azabera, Ricinus communis, Euphorbia busheriana, and Narcissus species.
Thank you very much. Dear participants, I will present my work on poisonous plants for cats and dogs kept in house. Severe poisoning occurs in result that dogs and cats eat these plants with increase of import whole plants and ornamental plants. And together with widespread landscape design of house, office, and garden, and increased domestic cat and dog population also in our country as all over the world. In USA, it's reported that 12% of poisonings of cats and dogs kept in house are caused by plants. Indoor plants as a part of trade sector are used commonly for aesthetic and functional features in living spaces. As a result, that poisonous plants are present commonly in places such as apartment, house, office, and shopping center. Pet animals chew or eat these plants and intoxication occur. Dogs and cats can show behavior to put them into their mouths and to chew leaves, stems, flowerings, and seeds of plant due to various reasons, especially getting bored in restrained area when the owner is not in the house, curiosity and dentition in young animals. Plant eating, especially grass eating, is commonly appeared in all domestic cats and dogs, and vomit when they feel ill themselves to recover the gastric problems or gastrointestinal parasites, or because of dietary deficiencies, or as general behavior, they eat plants. In this condition, it's appeared in not only dogs kept in house and in, but also wolves and other wild dog species. Tendencies of cats to eat plants are less than those of dogs. In a study made by Sueda et al. 2008, it has been reported that efendim beni duyabiliyor musunuz hocam?
Duyuyoruz hocam, duyuyoruz.
Tamam, teşekkür ediyorum. Tendencies of cats to eat plants are less than those of dogs. In a study made by Sueda et al. 2008, it has been reported that 7 99% of well-kept house dogs eat grass. Eating plant in domestic dogs is behavior commonly seen, and also that dogs are appeared normal before eating plant, and 70% of dogs do not vomit after eating plant. Poisonous plants include primary substances, carbohydrate, organic acids, and amino acids required to be able to maintain main metabolisms, and secondary substances, alkaloids, glycosides, oxalates, resinous compounds, tannins, and volatile oils generated as byproducts during main metabolisms. Major parts of secondary substances have toxic effects of human and animals. Toxic properties of some of these plants commonly used in landscaping indoor and outdoor places are not known. To be eaten by cat, dog, and other domestic animals can cause from simple clinical signs such as vomiting, diarrhea, dermal problems to negative effects such as tides. Severity of poisoning with plants can vary according to the factor related to plant, species, region, consumed amount, parts of plants, its growth stage, etc., and animal species age, health condition, etc. The toxicity of plants varies according to the season, climate, soil, and geographical area. In addition, sensitivity to poisonous plant may show variations specific to species or among individuals of some species. For the reasons plants to be used in the landscaping should not be considered with only ecological, economics, and aesthetic features. Thus, toxicity features of indoor and outdoor ornamental plants located in living places should be also known. Generally, poisoning of dogs and cats kept in house by plants occurs via eating plant, exposure to plant, photosensitivity, flowering, and odor with byproducts, and mechanical damage. In poisoning of dogs and cats with plants, factors belonging to plant consist of soil, climate, growth stage, parts of plants, and health of plants. Animal factors consist of natural immunity, alimentary system, acquired immunity, breed, age, nutrition, gender, and dependency conditions. Table 1, some important household plants leading to poisonous in dogs and cats. Blue marked are the ones that frequently cause poisoning. Dieffenbachia species, they are of the most dangerous and wide plant groups comprising many toxic components. These plants can reach a height of up to 2 meters and of 1 to 1.5 meters in an appropriate environment in house. This plant is perennial and evergreen. It is grown as ornamental plant in house due to easy maintenance. Toxic components, the plant contains saponins, alkaloids, cyanogenetic glycosides, proteolytic enzymes, calcium oxalate crystals, and oxalic acid. The main cause of the poisoning in calcium oxalate crystals, oxalic acid, and protease, irritation mucosa and releasing histamine. If rapids are embedded in mucosa, they entail extensive irritation and inflammation. Poisoning in dogs generally occurs via ingestion of the plant or exposure to the eye. It is made by information that the owner gives and clinical signs. Treatment must be supportive, including fluid therapy, oxygen treatment. Chanaberry tree, Melia azedabera, Melia australis, Melia japonica, Melia sempervivens, are cultivated as ornamental plant all over the world. Toxic components of 3 or tetranortriterpene neurotoxins of the cytotoxic limonoid class known as meliatoxins A1, A2, B1, and B2 in high levels in fluids. It is known by veterinary surgeons that China berry tree is toxic. Its fluids are highly toxic. Other leaves, stems, flowers are mildly toxic. Poisoning events are usually occurred in dogs. All parts of tree are toxic, but poisoning usually occurs after fluids are ingested. 5 or 6 fluids, less than 100 grams at 0.6 grams plus kilograms can cause poisoning, nausea, spasm, and death in small dogs. Clinical signs are there. It is made by information that the owner gives and with clinical signs. Treatment is supportive care including castor oil plant, Ricinus communis. The compound responsible for poisoning is toxalbumin ricin. Toxalbumin in the shell of fruits is a water-soluble glycoprotein and is one of the most poisonous compounds among the compounds with plant origin. Besides toxic ricin, the plant includes piperidine alkaloid, ricining, and affects nerve receptors. Clinical signs is there. Treatment induction of emesis, activated charcoal and catalytic gastrointestinal protectants such as sucralfate, fluid therapy with balanced electrolyte solutions, plant diet. Poinsettia, Euphorbia pusheramia. Poinsettia is a small shrub widely cultivated in tropical regions. Toxic ingredients present in milky sap are responsible for irritation. This sap contains terpenoid, air purple esters, and steroids with saponin-like properties. Medical treatment is based on the exposure amount of toxic components. Treatment may include gastrointestinal decontamination, fluid therapy, and antihistaminic administration. Daffodil, Narcissus species. This plant is perennial and is grown from a bulb of daffodil plant. This plant contains alkaloids and glycosides as toxic components. Alkaloids are narcissin, narcislacin, galantamine, and leucorin in high amounts. They contain calcium oxalate crystals. Glucosides of this plant include cisilatoxin. Poisonous cases related to daffodil generally result from ingestion of the plant and drinking water in the plant container. Clinical signs are there. Treatments, supportive care, stabilization of vital signs, maintaining a potent airway, maintaining cardiovascular function, fluid and electrolyte administration, gastrointestinal decontamination, alleviating abdominal pain, and controlling nervous systems signs.
A few minutes to go. A few minutes we have.
Okay. Conclusions and proposals. Labels in the identifying severity of toxicity of the plant, its effects, its parts should be attached on plants in plantation, nursery gardens, flower shops, and other selling places, and this condition should be necessary. The owner of animals, local authorities, landscape, architects, other related occupation groups, and their associations, public and private, enterprises and veterinary surgeons should recognize these plants and know prevention measures to them. Veterinary surgeons should now treat mouschosis in the case of animal poisoning with these poisonous plants. Last slide. In the case of poisoning with plants, recognition of plants, identification of toxic components, and diagnosis of affected system are highly beneficial for treatment. In the event of plant poisonings of dogs and cats, if no antidotes, supportive care is necessary by identifying treatment regime with considering toxicokinetics and toxicodynamics of toxic components. In addition, increase of physical activity and increase of time of playing game, decrease of boring, observing them and spending more than time with them and might decrease tendencies to plant eating. Wish you a healthy days. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Bilgili. This topic is very interesting for me since I have a cat in my house, and I'm very happy to learn these things from you.
Thank you very much.
Is there any question? If not, I want to say something to Professor Bilgili. Your presentation inspired me in terms of toxic substances. Maybe animal feeds containing some medicinal plants may help animals to be more healthy and treated for some diseases.
It's true.
Actually, they are used in the market. They are used in common, but maybe different kind of feeds may be generated. Okay, thank you very much again. And for the last speakers, I pass my words to my colleague. For inviting.
Okay, thank you. And the last invited speaker in this session, let me introduce Professor Dr. Kantao Das. He is the professor from the Department of Pharmacognosy and Phytochemistry from Kupanidi College of Pharmacy. The research title is very interesting. His research title is Discovery of Plant Secondary Metabolites as Lead from In Vitro Conserved Indian Treated Medicinal Plant in Healthcare Management. Professor Kantao Das, please.
Hello. Are you able to listen to me?
Okay. Please share your slide.
Is it visible?
Okay. We see it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, good afternoon, Professor. For my brief introduction, now today I am going to present on discovery of plant secondary metabolites as lead from in vitro conserved Indian threatened medicinal plant healthcare management.
Done in the April, written examination conducted in the month of June, and the results are declared in.
Now, come to the plant constituents. So the main thing is plant constituents are most essential focus in healthcare management. So about 4.4 billion people in developing country depends on traditional medicines, and for the traditional medicines mainly having the phytoconstituents, all the plant constituents having the phytoconstituents which are responsible for protecting the plants against many environmental stress, as well as it is helping for giving the good beneficial effect for our human health. So based on the different type of So plant constituents are mainly having the different constituents having alkaloids, terpenoids, glycoside, phenolic, and saponins. So this all the constituents having their different properties. So I am not going to details about all this. The main thing is all these functional bioactive compounds plays the major role in treatment of disease. They have the enormous structural and chemical diversity and plays a major role in drug discovery. They are the molecular target for a wide range of life-threatening disease such as cancer, diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases, etc. But discovery of new drug as a complex method, and it is a time-consuming and having the expensive process. So we are having the different type of the classification of the new chemical entities based on the botanical sources. So main thing is bioactive compounds having their direct use as a drug. Example we can give like digoxin, which is coming from the digitalis. Then bioactive compounds with structures which themselves acting as a lead compound for more potent compound. Example, paclitaxel from Taxa species. Like this, there are different classifications are there. Now, the main basic methods for the lead compound isolation is medicinal plant having the physical chemical analysis followed by phytochemical analysis. We are having different type of the extraction process by which we are getting the extract. Then the fractionation process, we are getting the different fractions, and finally we are going for purification of the pure compound. So that pure compound, we are going for the bioassay as well as toxicological assay for the synthesis of the different type of the molecules as well as structural modification and characterization. The main basic steps for lead development, we are having the lead identification followed by lead optimization, then the lead development, and followed by the clinical trial. This clinical trial having the preclinical trial as well as the clinical trial. So here, after the clinical trial approval, we are getting the FDA approval, and then it is coming to the market. So this is the basic concept of the lead development. So in these things, we are having the various approaches for drug discovery. Mainly, we are having the parallel approaches. So parallel approaches is what? The main thing is the biological activity of the plant is known by its traditional use. So the main objective of this study is nothing but to isolate the compounds responsible for the activity based on their biological activity. And next is sequential approach, where the biological activity of the subject plant is not known and random selection strategy is adopted for the plant. That's why this sequential analysis or sequential approach, it is also known as random approach. Then side by side, we are using the bioguided fractionation. So bioguided fractionation is nothing but we are having the different type of the solvent using, and we are using the different steps. So I can show you that this is the parallel approach. So in these things, we are having the different stage extraction, then we are having the different fractionation, and we are having the purification. So we are using the primary assay and secondary assay. After primary assay, we are selecting which is the most important effective fraction. So then we are going for the size reduction of the main the constituents, as well as we are going for the structural elucidation. Then we are going for the drug discovery. So this is the parallel approach. So this is the main is sequential approach, where we are not knowing the biological activity of the plant. So in the each step, we are using the different type of the solvent. The solvent will be based on the non-polar to polar solvent, where every step we are using the bioassay. So we are using the bioassay, then we are going for the different fractions. We are based on the best activity, we are using the fractions. These fractions we are using the structural elucidation and followed by the discovery of the drug. So this is the bioguided fractionation. In these things, two things is possible. One is novel structure, you can go for identification, as well as we can go for the known structure, you can go for identification. So this is the bioguided fractionation, where using the different type of the solvent based on the polarity. And there are some other approaches. So the main thing is ethanopharmacological approaches, traditional system of the medicine approaches, pharmacognosy approaches, as well as the omic technologies. So these are all some plant-based product which is having the natural lead compound we are using the different type of the listed we are having based on the different type of the health management system. So mainly you can see here paclitaxel mainly we are using for the breast cancer. Then green tea phenols we are using the genital warts. Then we are using the capsaicin. So these are all the different type of the natural leaf compound or isolated for the different type of the disease management. So this is the commercially available plant which is having the natural sweetener. It is important things. So this is approved by the different countries. Like glycyrrhizin, it is approved by Japan. It is obtained from the Glycyrrhiza glabra. Then stevioside, which is obtained from Stevia rebaudiana, which is approved by the countries South America, Japan, China, South Korea. Then macroside, it is obtained from Saratia brosiviani. Their fruits is most important, which is approved by the Japan. So like this, there are so many commercial sweeteners are available in the world. So this is the things where we are having the different type of the research work which is done by in throughout the world. So you can see the pharmacological activity is a 21% based followed by the plant sciences having the 18%. So we are increasing the plant science research based on the disease management. So you can see the lead development from the natural based sources. So you can see here in 2001 we are having the 61%, whereas in 2010 it is having the 61.7%, but there is some reduction in 2019 with 61% only with the plant-based product. So this is due to the availability of the raw material in the world. So the population is increasing and we are losing the sources of the plant. So for this reason, we are having some data, having the International Union for the Conservation of Nature. It is giving the recently from September 2019. So they have listed around 2,597 plants, endangered species. In this, 21,882 extant species have been evaluated for 20,708 of those are fully assessed. Then 11,577 to 13,451 are threatened medicinal plant, and 189 to 352 are extinct in the world. So this is the data given by the International Union for the Conservation of the Nature. So you can see our Indian hub. So mainly in case of the India, where we are having the Western Ghat region as well as Northeast region, the main hotspots for the natural product. So in these things, so mainly from the Western Ghat region, we are having the 5,500 flowering plant from the region, and 2015 species are reported as endemics. So these things are having the plant diversity in the area estimated over 4,500 flowering plant, of which 1,500 are Western Ghat endemics. So in these things, we are having the lots of plant having the endemic things. In case of the Northeast region, we can see here the dense forest is available. So Northeast India having total area with 2,64,680 square kilometer. The area is part of the global diversity of the hotspots. Then total 3,000 in the state, of which 1,836 species are endemic and 924 species are having medicinal importance. So these are all some rare species I have given here. So in these things, you can see the main photos of the rare species, the Polygala irregularis. So this is mainly useful for the anti-venom purpose, but it is very rare. This Lotus corniculatus, it is also, the leaves is used for the anti-diabetic purpose. Then Sclerotium nudum, it is used for the different type of respiratory problem. We are using this this plant, the stem, for the COVID-19 situation. We are using for extract and going for the isolate the compound. Then we are having the Abutilin indicum. The leaves mainly we are using for the anti-inflammatory and sedative purpose. There is some certain medicinal plants. So this is the list of some important certain medicinal plants. So you can see here the Amentotoxus asimilata. This is the same look like as a Texas plant. So this plant also having the anti-cancer activity. Then Pterospermum reticulatum. This is the most important for the leaves and fruits for wound healing treatment. Then Diapsoris celebrica, it is useful for the antitussive purpose. So this Diapsoris and as well as the preferred plant, we are using this too for the COVID-19 now for the formulation. Then we are using the Chlorophytum malabaricum. The leaves mainly used for the immunomodulatory activity. So these are all now it is very threatened plant. So some endangered plant it is given in India. So some common endangered plant we are having the Decalatis hamiltoni. So this is it is endangered due to the habitat loss and due to the over exploitation. So mainly it is having the glycoside and alkaloids having the medicinal purpose. Then Costinium fenestratum, which is based on the meniscus, it is very woody climber as well as it is mainly useful for any kind of disease, any kind of anti-inflammatory activity, and this is also it is having the low germination as well as the rate of reproduction is very less. So that's why this is now very rare plant, endangered. Then Ilex fascianum, it is also the northeast region. It is now endangered plant. It is all part of the plant having the alkaloids. It is mainly used for the medicines. The reason of this plant for endangered due to the plant having the low reproduction stage. This is also one more plant having the endangered Myastica pregnans. It is also the endangered plant. Reasons also due to the overexploitation and habitat destruction. The fruits and leaves are mainly useful for this. Then Pterocarpus centellatum, the leaves is most important. It is located in the forest of the Eastern Ghat region. So the main is we are having the habitat loss. The mainly it is useful for the cardiac as well as it is also useful for the cosmetic purpose. Then Belosynapsis vivipara, this is also a very important thing. The plant this is mainly obtained from the northern Western Ghat region. Mainly it is obtained in from Karnataka in India. The reason is due to the overexploitation and habitat destruction. So these are all the things. We are having the Podophyllum hexametrum, the Barbadeaceae family, having the northeast region it is located, but it is also now it is endangered, and it is mainly useful for the anti-cancer activity. Then Taxus olchaniana. So this is also the family of the Taxus. It is very useful drug for the anti-cancer activity and ovarian cancer for the females. So this is also now endangered due to the exploitation and habitat destruction. So the most important thing is we have to conserve this medicinal plant for the lead development as a phytoconstituents. So the main objective of my study is nothing but in vitro plant tissue culture, where the Texas Olchiana has done the in vitro study under the guidance of Dr. Ramandan. So the germination of the seed and callus development under different conditions were studied, where 2,4-D and kinetin give the satisfactory result, where the callus as well as in the micropropagation. So here we can see here the callus is grown in the 2,4-D and kinetin supplemented in the media, where the woody plant method is found for the ascertain the totipotency of the callus, showing the organogenesis. So you can see here. So the callus is grown in 80 days of the time. Okay, so you can see here the from the callus we are going for isolated the paclitaxel, which is having the 0.8%. Okay, so in the things this is the we can go for the micropropagation with the B5 media, where we can using the micropropagation of the structure identification has done the paclitaxel by the NMR study, IR study, and mass spectroscopy. So it is mainly useful for the anti-neoplastic agent. It is also acting by the inhibitor of the cellular matrices, which is currently plays the central role in the therapy of the ovarian as breast cancer as well as the lung cancer. So this is one more example for the Costinium fenestratum, which is belongs to Menispermaceae family. So in these things, this is also the endangered or threatened medicinal plant, where the full strength MS media supplemented with 2,4-D as well as kinetin for the callus growth in 46 days. And rooting of the callus also started in the MS media by we are using the zinc sulfate, which is enhancing the root formation. So in the media, we are using the zinc sulfate 3 mg per liter, and we are getting within 18 days the root formation. So after the callus development and the micropropagation, we have done the SPLC study where the methylenic extract shows the most important constituent berberine, which is the alkaloid, 1.23% mg, as well as 1.34 mg present in the plant.
Okay, Professor,
So you can after this, yeah,
about 2 minutes
yeah,
left.
Yeah, fine. So in these things, structural elucidation, we have done NMR, IR, and mass spectroscopy. So this is mainly useful for the diabetes, obesity, tumor, inflammation, as well as powerful antioxidation. So these are all the in vitro study we have done in our lab, protophylum hexagram. So these are all the methods we have isolated the protophyllotoxins. So it is also used for the potent anti-cancer. Decalepis nervosa, it is also the endangered plant species where we can go for the plant tissue culture. And from this, we have isolated the gallic acid. So this is the gallic acid, and we have identified the purified DNA. We have isolated. So now the process is going on, the identification of the DNA. Mainly it is useful for the antioxidant and anti-consumption as well as anti-diabetic. Now, this tissue culture technique, we are using the 3D printing method. So this is the most important nowadays. The recent trend is going on 3D printing method, where we are using the artificial intelligence for this, for making the culture tube. So we are not using the glass tubes. We are using the culture tube made up of the polycarbonides. So polycarbonides we are using for the preparing the 3D printing tissue culture ratios. So this is having the new method, having the easy use. It is helping for the efficiency, and it is reducing the cost for the micropropagation. You can see here the 3D printed the vessels where the roots are growing very nicely without disturbing the plants, and we are using the static liquid culture for this tissue culture method. So in these things, the method has done the different type of the cherry plant, then apple and banana cultivation under the 3D printed vessels. And then it is also, we are having on more 3D printed vessels having the LED light sources. So here we are having the different light sources apart from the fluorescence light. So LED light sources we are using, and there is different technology we are using for the development of the tobacco and artemisia. So this is the generation is going on for the 3D printing method for the development of the different type of the culture vessels. Coming to the conclusion, the phytoconstituents are used as a leach compound, so which are identified by various screening methods followed by pharmacological and clinical trial. More utilization of the plant sources for the research purpose resulted endangered and threatened species. So conservation is most essential. In vitro plant tissue culture helps in mass scale production as well as easy isolation and purification of the plant secondary metabolites. So recently, 3D printing technology helping for the production of the biodegradable culture vessels and reduce the cost of the production with efficient technologies. So these are some references I have collected. The acknowledgement. So thanks to the chairman, Professor Nazim, and as also Professor Sabji for the scientific committee and for the giving the chance for the presenting. Then thanks to Dr. Chulikit and for chairing the session, and thanks to my college, Pandi College of Pharmacy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Kantaudas, for your very nice presentation. Are there any questions? And if you would like to share something with Professor Kantaudas, please.
No question, but maybe I can contribute something. Plant biotechnology seems to have a great impact for especially plants for under extinction. So I admire researchers who studied on this topic because it's not so easy to keep the plants as in the nature. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Nasli, for your sharing. Okay, are there any questions from the floor?
Yeah, I just had a comment on this.
Okay, Professor Nasli.
Thanks for a very nice presentation. Lot of information there in a short period of time. Yeah, this extinction of some important species is a major concern everywhere. They have tried to kind of cultivate some of these species. You know, Dr. Nazli referred to biotechnology. You know, and trying to do it through tissue culture, micropropagation, so on. But the problem in that is the active ingredient is not as high or as potent in the cultivated types than the wild crafted. We have seen here in a personal experience here, ginseng, for example, can be grown in the greenhouse under proper shade conditions and so on. But the price structure is so different. Why